welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another book haul. Yes, I have a very random stack of books to show you today, and I've organized them kind of by genre. So let's start with romance. The first book that I bought was Yerba Buena by Nina LaCour. This was one of my most anticipated books of the year, and I was so intrigued by this. This is my first time reading this author, but the reviews were so interesting, and the way that this was described, if you don't know, this is a sapphic romance. And so we follow our two main protagonists, our two main female characters, as they go about their lives and as they enter this new relationship with one another. We see them in their relationship, but we focus a lot on their lives and who they are. This is supposed to be a book haul, not a book reviews, but this book is incredible. So that is the first book I got. Still in romance, we have one of the books of last year. It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey, and this time, because I haven't read this one yet, I don't know that much about it, and that's the way I prefer to go into my romances. I know this is very popular, very well liked. I know that supposedly we focus on the romance between a fisherman and this socialite, and everybody was swooning over this. I do enjoy Tessa Bailey's writing, so I'm hoping to love this one as much as everybody else. And then the last romance I got was 7 Days in June by Tia Williams, once again because this was one of the most buzzed about books of last year. It wasn't the most, but one of the most talked about, and people say it's underrated, so I'm very curious to see my thoughts on it. This is the story of two authors, if I'm not mistaken, and this is supposed to be a second chance romance. So we have these characters who were together at one point in their life, but then things didn't work out, and now, I don't know how many years later, they come back and they are trying to see if it makes sense for them to try again. This is supposed to be very angsty, but very well written, very good tension, and so I'm really excited to pick this one up as well. Then let's get to manga and a graphic novel. So the first one is Fruits Basket Volume 2 because I read and loved Volume 1. This is the collector's edition. I enjoy the first one so much that I immediately got the second volume. I hope I'm going to love it. I just want to be more in the mood for it, and so I'm saving it. But this is the continuation of the first volume, obviously, where we follow our main character who is in a very difficult situation and very weird situation in life where she is kind of homeless and she ends up living in a tent. And then the owners of this property are weird in and of themselves, but they kind of take her in and help her, and they become this family in a way as well. So it's very cute. It has some very funny moments as well, but it has a lot of heart, so I'm hoping to get to this sometime soon. Then we have The Vertical Sea, and this is a graphic novel, as you can see, and this was a completely random purchase because I had never heard about this, and this just came out this year. I was drawn by the cover and by the art style. It's so beautiful, and this is one of those that I have read already, but unfortunately it wasn't. It was good, it was enjoyable in a way, but I felt with this the same way that I feel with some graphic novels, where we start to get into the story but we don't get deep enough, and I really want to get to know the characters better, so I would prefer this to be longer. I was missing something more within this story. But if you want to check this out, I do believe that this could work for some people. So this focuses on our main character. She is a primary school teacher and she is dealing with panic attacks. So this book explores that and how she deals with that, how she tries to normalize that aspect of her life and that reality that she lives every day, and how she tries to teach her students about it, how she tries to normalize it with the other adults in her life, and how difficult that is for some people. The subject matter is very interesting, and I did enjoy the discussions that were brought up here. Is just, there was just a little thing missing. Let's do nonfiction. Next, we have this, Volta para Tua Terra. This is an anthology of a ton of different immigrants living in Portugal, and I thought this was particularly interesting because it focuses so much on the perspective of people who are not originally from, in this case, Portugal, my country, but who have lived here for years and years, and talking through poems about their experience. Then we have The Mirror and the Palette by Jennifer Heige, Rebellion, Revolution, and Resilience, 500 Years of Women's Self-Portraits. This is very art school style, but it sounded so interesting, analyzing different artists through the ages and seeing the importance of the artists and women in this case seeing themselves and portraying themselves and then showing that to the world. It just sounded so appealing. Then we have some literary fiction, and some of them I do have to say that I know nothing about them. We have Women of Light, and excuse me if I'm mispronouncing this name. I think Hallie Fallardo Anstein. I apologize. And I don't know that much about this. I know that for once, I read the synopsis before purchasing this book and I enjoyed it. It sounded very interesting. And also I decided to get this one because this is a novel, but this author is very well known for, I think, a collection of short stories, Sabrina and Catarina, and that was so well reviewed, so well regarded, that I decided to give her novel, her debut novel, a chance. So let's see what this is about. A dazzling epic of betrayal, love, and fate that spans 5 generations of an indigenous Chicano family in the American West. That was probably what drew me in. So this sounds like a generational kind of story. This is more of a historical, I think, because it says here that it takes place in 1930s Denver. People say that this author has an incredible writing style. I'm very intrigued to check it out. Speaking of family dynamics, I have Sharks in the Time of Saviors by Kauai Strong Washburn. And once again, this is a family drama, generational type of affair. And I'm really intrigued about this because I don't know yet if this has some magical realism, some fabulism thing sprinkled in it, or if this is meant to just be everyday life. We have this family, and I think one of the kids of this family falls into the ocean and is saved by a shark, and from then on it's almost like, I think he is touched in some way by the divine. I think that's the way people have been describing this, but this is much more of a family exploration and dealing with family and the sibling dynamics as well, and that just sounds incredible. Up next, we have this very beautiful book. This one is translated into Portuguese, but this one is a French author. The title could be translated to Detours by Renee Crevel. Who knows? My French is perfect. And I decided to pick this one up based on the cover because that's how I roll, but the synopsis sounds interesting because it is French in a way. It's a little desolate, it's a little, how do you put it, bleak perhaps, and I know this deals with topics of suicide. Then we have Blue by Emily Prophet, I think, translated by Tina Cover. This is a Haitian novel about silence, beauty, and the solidarity of tears. So this is translated, I think, from the French, and this is very short. So I don't know too much about this. I remember that I picked this up because of a review I saw online that said this almost felt like being in an airport, or I'm not sure if this felt like being in an airport or if this took place at an airport. Seeing people's lives go by and being a witness to that sounds so intriguing. And the fact that this is so short and supposedly very poetic, this has won awards and everything, feels like I will enjoy this very much. Finally, in this category, we have Violet by Kyung-Suk Shin, translated by Anton Her. And this, from what I've heard, is one of those sad girl, that girl TikTok books. Or it can be. San is 22 and alone when she happens upon a job at a flower shop in Seoul's bustling city center. Haunted by childhood rejection, she stumbles through life, painfully vulnerable, stifled, and unsure. She barely registers to others, especially by the ruthless standards of 1990s South Korea. That was probably why. Like, we have our main female character going about her life, early 20s, just figuring shit out. That was probably why I wanted to read this. And also because I know that this is being very raved in terms of its writing style, how poetic it is, and how compelling the story and the character is. So I'm very excited to get into this. And once again, it's not that long, so I'm hoping that I will love it, and this will be one of those poignant stories and books that I will carry with me forever, hopefully. And finally, we come to fantasy, because I could never do a book haul without including some fantasy. So the first one I got is one of the most beautiful book covers. Look at that. It's stunning. Once I saw this book cover, I was immediately sold. This is Ordinary Monsters by J.M. Miro, and this is, I think, the first book in a trilogy. Either way, the first book in a series, and this is more of a historical setting. We have things that I do not remember. England, 1882. Two children with mysterious powers are hunted by a figure of darkness. So we have people with powers, and we have other people trying to protect them, possibly a secret society if I'm reading things right, and hopefully beautiful writing, because I do love me fantasy with beautiful writing. I am so excited to pick this one up. This feels like one of those perfect books to start off the fall season and the fall vibes. I am planning to do a vlog solely dedicated to getting into the fall spirit, and I'm hoping to read this book then, because it feels so appropriate and it's just so stunning. I'm hoping that this is everything I need. And then we have Dark Rise by C.S. Pacat, and I have read from this author before, her Fence series. It's a series of graphic novels that she has published, I think, some years ago now, and that one focuses on a boarding school and a fencing team. And I loved that so much. It was so much fun, so enjoyable, and the characters were so quirky. I know she has another very popular series, the Captive Prince series, which I've never read before, but I have high hopes because I really did enjoy the way that she developed her characters in graphic novel form. So I am guessing that in full-length novel, she will be great as well. I'm a sucker for good covers. I'm a sucker for illustrated covers. It's just a joy. Looking at beautiful art is just a joy. And so here we have, once again, more of a historical setting. And funnily enough, we also have England in the 1800s, I think. It's somewhere here. I opened this the other day, and the map, exactly, London 1821. Magic has disappeared, but we have our main character Will, who will in some ways be responsible to bring it back, if I'm not mistaken. We have the secret society who's trying to recruit him to protect whatever magic is left, or to bring it back in some way. That's all I know. This is also the start of a new series. I don't know if it's going to be a trilogy or what. I will definitely let you know my thoughts. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've read any of the books that I mentioned here today, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts. If you think I should prioritize any of them as well, tell me. And that's it. I'll see you next time. Bye!